Good evening and welcome to the Money Show. I'm Kavita Thapliyal and this is the show that puts your money matters in front and center. In a world full of financial noise, we are here to bring you clarity, confidence and control over your personal finances, whether you're planning for retirement, building a portfolio, navigating debt or just trying to make smarter money decisions. This is your space, your guide and your weekly check-in with your wallet. Every evening, we bring you insights from top financial experts, decode the latest trends and answer your burning questions on saving, investing, spending and everything in between, because here on the Money Show, we believe one thing: you don't have to be a finance expert to take charge of your money. You just need the right advice. So let's dive right in. This is a show where we also do your life financial planning. All you have to do is just send across your questions. You can WhatsApp us your queries on our WhatsApp number. It's 865-797-4571. And the email ID is themoneyshow@etnow.tv, where you can send across your questions and we do your life financial planning. Okay, so let's begin the show, and a very pertinent topic that we'll be discussing today. RBI Governor today announced that retail investors will soon be able to start SIPs in treasury bills through the RBI's Retail Direct platform. Now, this platform allows individuals to directly buy and sell government securities online. So, T-bills are largely risk-free instruments since they are backed by the government and have a fixed maturity term. And we'll be diving in deep to get in more details on this, and we'll also try and figure out that is this the right investment for you, and if at all it is, what is the criteria, on what basis should you be considering these kind of investment, because we are talking about your entire financial portfolio. If we talk about having instruments which are conservative in nature, does this really fit the bill for you? I'm joined by Suresh Darak, founder, Bond Bazaar, and also Shweta Jain from Investography. Hi, good evening and welcome to the show, both of you. Shweta, let's get the background of this particular platform that's launched by RBI, and it's been some time since it's launched, and if we talk about the awareness level, it's still really low, because a lot of time investors don't know how to access it. They don't know what kind of products one can buy from these platforms. Now, having said all of that, Shweta, just give us a sense of this Retail Direct platform where investors can directly invest into government securities.
Hi, Kavita. Thanks for having me on the show. So yes, it's interesting because the idea to launch this was to increase retail participation. Investors can now invest in T-bills directly and through different sort of periods, right? 14 days, there's 91 days. So there is different periods that they can do as well. But the awareness is, of course, quite low because also I think the popularity of some of the other products are there, but there's not much effort taken to promote something like this as well.
All right, Suresh, let's come to you and let's talk about SIPs. Now, talking about the investment instruments that are available on this particular platform, in what instruments can we do SIPs and how can it be done?
Hey, hi. So, in fact, it is really great that we heard about SIPs in the equities, mutual funds. We never heard SIPs in the bond market. So, this is the first time RBI has decoded the how SIP you can do in the bond market, right? Because the ISINs keep on changing in the bond market as the ISINs mature. So, they figured out some ways. So, the process is same that the way you do the SIP in the equity or mutual fund, where you fix the amount, and that amount on a particular date will be invested in selected security. The treasury bills are normally 91 days, 182 days, or 364 days. You select that instrument on that particular day. When the bidding is happening, your money will be debited from your bank account, and securities will be transferred in your, in your demat account. So that's how this SIP is going to work. And normally in right now, the yields on treasury bills is closer to 5.5%. So around that, you are going to get the returns for your things. So it is better that, if you're keeping your money idle in saving account or current account, where in current account you're earning less than 0%. In saving account, it is less than 3%. So it is a better instrument as compared to that. But yes, however, as compared to other options which are available like liquid mutual fund, it is not a great option to invest in SIP. So frankly, what I excited about this entire thing is SIP in bond market starting. At some stage, it will come in the dated securities, long-term securities or government securities like 1 year to 10 years or 15 years, which will be a great investment opportunity for the people, or the corporate bond. The process is
All
same.
right. Sure, sure. Shweta, I really want to understand from a financial planning angle now. We are talking about doing SIPs and treasury bills. Now, having said that, you are making a financial portfolio. Obviously, you have different reasons and intentions for having a particular investment instrument in your portfolio. Is that right? What kind of investors should be actually going on these platforms? If at all they're investing in these kind of products, what should be your average return expectation? Also, having said that, should return or profit be the priority when you're investing in these kind of investment instruments, or just safeguarding your money should be the priority?
So many of the questions I'm going to take one by one. So one
Sure,
is
sure,
this is
yeah.
for an investor. This is for an investor who's looking at short-term investments, right? This is not for somebody who's looking at long-term. This is for somebody who's risk averse, absolutely. So this is as close to a guaranteed return that you can get, right? Because the Indian government is promising to repay you at a later date. That's literally what it means, right? And so this is with different maturity days. So ideally, if you have a 3 month horizon, for example, so a 91-day T-bill will suit you, or a 182 days T-bill will suit somebody who's 6 months, and 364 for somebody who has a year's horizon. But also the minimum amount should be about 25,000. So that's one thing. The other thing I think quite interesting is the SIP way that this has been promoted, right? And the fact that some of these can sort of be used to stagger your either maturity or keep rolling these investments. So it's also interesting for somebody who may be, say, looking at short term requirements, not necessarily deployed anywhere else because it's really short term, right? Say 3 months. So they might, money might be lying in the bank. So this is a great use. But also for somebody who might need the money after 3 months but may not. So wants to sort of roll over this, wants that call or that control. So it's quite interesting for somebody like that. As well, it could be, that they do this for 3 months and then withdraw the money, withdraw the gain, and then invest the principal again, whether it's any of the tenure. So it could be that, sort of a little bit of profits that you're taking out. So good for cash flow for somebody who's looking like that as well.
All right, let's also understand the taxation aspect of it. Suresh, how would you understand, how would you help our viewers understand the tax implications attached to these investment instruments?
The tax is same as per your slab rates. The way the interest income is taxed, it will be taxed in the same manner. It is as simple as it is. Based on your tax slabs, you have to pay the tax. TDS will not be deducted.
Sure.
That's the advantage. Apart from that, once you are filing your income tax return, it will be added in your gross total income, and you have to pay tax as per your slab rate.
All right. Shweta, now looking at the bouquet that's been offered, in RBI Retail Direct platform, which are the ones would you recommend for a long-term investment perspective? Considering these are mostly debt instruments, okay? And when we talk about financial planning or your portfolio planning, it's important to give that balance in your portfolio, that stability in your portfolio through a debt investment. So, among all of these investment instruments available in this bouquet, which are the ones you would prefer for a long-term perspective, and which are the ones you would, what happens in financial planning is even if you're investing in equity markets, say for your goal is just about to arrive, few years before the goal, you should just park in some money in debt. Can these instruments be utilized for that kind of purpose also? How can you strategize these instruments for a long-term goal perspective?
Absolutely, Kavita. I think that was bang on. So when goals are nearer, you want to withdraw the risk element out of it, and these products can be a great help to mitigate that risk. It's also something that somebody who's absolutely, like I said, risk averse can start sort of SIP into these and then look at. So it could be somebody who's just starting off, and then so this SIP is more comfortable for them, and then go on towards long-term investments. For somebody who's looking at a hybrid sort of portfolio, of course, this is not what I would recommend. But somebody who's looking at, say, instead of FDs, instead of RDs, I think this is a great opportunity instead of like an RD. Something like this is absolutely, I think, better for the investor.
All right, Suresh, what's going to be your recommendation?
Yeah, Shweta was bang on that, absolutely risk-averse investor probably will go for it. Otherwise,
Sure.
my first investment opportunity will be in a liquid debt mutual fund. But if I don't believe even the liquid mutual fund, then probably I will go for, treasury bills because managing liquid mutual fund is a better option for your short-term liquidity. So it is a short-term instrument. See, I'm more excited about one thing that SIP in bond RBI has figured out how to do the SIP in bond through the NASH facility. That's a big thing. And that will be a game changer from the future perspective because the same will be implemented in case of long-term government securities and corporate bond market in future times. It has set the path right. So that's a big thing. But apart from that, right now, SIP, how successful it will be, I don't know. But yes, absolutely risk-averse investor can go for because there will it is a sovereign. There is a zero default risk in this.
Right, but then, Suresh, I also want to understand how will you be earning more? Is a lump sum going to get you more profit or an SIP? SIP is more about convenience, right? If you don't have a large sum of money to put, you can just put it in chunks. So, but then
Absolutely,
eventually, when I
Kavita.
look at my returns, my profit, will I gain more by doing a lump sum investment?
So, Kavita, what is bond market? What is this? It's a game of interest income, right? If you are holding money in your bank account even for a day, more than, and if you are not investing, you lost that money. You are not earning interest for that particular, it is gone thing. So, bond market is all about being disciplined and investing money whenever you have money in your hands, right? Today, if some money is lying in your current account, bank account, invest in the liquid mutual fund or bond market. Don't waste a single day. The day is gone. It is not an equity market where you have to wait for the price level or the yield level. So from that perspective, of course, this proposition doesn't look that sound. But as we discussed, this once it is implemented for the long-term government securities where you are investing for let's say 3 years, 5 years, it matters a lot because you are actually creating a portfolio for it. Or corporate bond market where the returns are in excess of 8 to 12% or something like that. Of course, some risk element is there. So coming back to your point, that for whom it is good, the people who are absolutely risk averse, and because of that, they keep money in saving account and current account. As you know that more than 60 lakh crore is lying in the saving account, 20 lakh crore is lying in the current account, 80 lakh crore, right? That's a huge sum. Why that money is lying? Like people probably don't have a confidence in the alternates, which is liquid mutual fund or something like that. So for them, it can be a better way that at least you can assume that you are getting better returns, maybe 5.5%, instead of keeping money in the current account where 0% returns are there, on the saving account where the less than 3% returns are
All right. Since we're talking about a full-fledged investment strategy in these instruments, Shweta, it's very important for us to caution our investors also in terms of risk. No investment is risk-free, that we all know. What are the risks associated with these investments as well?
So, one is definitely something which I would call the liquidity risk. So, while you
Sure.
can sell it in the secondary market, you are basically restricted to the amount of time that you've committed for. You can try and sell it in the secondary market, but that is the liquidity risk that you're talking about. It could be something that may be difficult to, I think, sell. That's something that I would definitely call as a risk. There is not no not other risks in terms of credit risk. The other risk that of course is the interest rate risk, that if interest were to fall or rise tomorrow, like if the interest changes, then your earlier bonds might become more expensive, or your future bonds might become more expensive. So that is something that could happen as well. So, or could be more attractive, expensive or attractive. So I think that interest rate risk is something that you could carry as well. But I think the good part that I see in this whole thing, actually the best part is, most of the investors that come in, new investors, they look at SIPs and link it to mutual funds. And because mutual funds are subject to market risk, they may not enter that. But here I see, that entry point where SIPs and T-bills. So it could be a great entry point here, and then into, say, other longer duration investments, whether it's equity or debt, whether it's mutual funds or other products. I think so. That itself, I think, is a great proposition.
All right, I think that will be all on the show today as far as this particular topic is concerned for discussion. Thank you so much, Suresh, for taking time out and helping our viewers navigate this particular investment on retail direct platform.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.